Is life leaving you sleepless? Try an overnight. Sleep tight without the risk of dependency.
My husband asked me how I'd like to celebrate this Mother's Day, and I told him all I want. In fact, I think I speak for most mothers when I say all we want is to be left alone to sleep in and spend the day leisurely lounging in our PJs. So I called up my friends at Hallmark House and made reservations at their beautiful penthouse for myself and fellow boy mom to spend the day well rested with food and amazing conversation. Some of you may know her as a member of the Real Housewives of Durban, but this is LaConco, the youngest child of Matusi and Bab Conco, Nonkanyiso, LaConco. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
How are you?
What an intro. I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Let's get the goodies in. Let's get some snacks. Let's get a vibe happening. Where is that?
Thank you so much for the invite.
Get out the house, away from the little ones, and just spend Mother's Day.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
enjoy ourselves and have wholesome conversation. But first, I want to start with, how do you usually celebrate Mother's Day?
This is going to be my fourth year celebrating Mother's Day. But before my son, I'll definitely gift my mom with something or take her out. As you're asking me, actually, I'm just reflecting back. Ukuthi ene would either mhlambe makufike mangabezile eThekwini, would go out, have lunch, or a spa day, like it's different for each year. But since my son has come, do I celebrate it? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just like any other day. I think I've been running that much. Or would I forget? But definitely my mom, the special days, which is Valentine's, Mother's Day, Nangipete, I could definitely send her something.
Is she like big on those days?
No, she's not.
So is it you that made her big on this?
Yes, yeah. My mom is very rural, very typical, relaxed, laid back. I call her sometimes, to see what's happening.
Yeah.
So she would actually remember when she receives a gift and she knows what I want.
But tell me about then your formative years. Where were you born?
So I was born in Pietermaritzburg. There's Northdale, Edendale, Northdale. I'm trying to remember. Yes.
Which Dale?
Which Dale? So in North, So I was born in North. So my mom says she gave birth to me in Northdale, at Pietermaritzburg.
Okay.
And then just a couple of days, and then from there, Wasebuyela, and I'm back to Matatiela. That's my hometown, and in Kabayam, Ilele Matatiela.
Okay.
And then, so Ngakula from Matatiela, stayed in Pietermaritzburg, and then from Pietermaritzburg, moved to Joburg. My mom was hustling in Johannesburg. Then from there, back to Pietermaritzburg, then Durban, then between Durban and Joburg.
And what was your childhood like? What's some of the earliest memories you have of your childhood?
You know what I like about this conversation? I've just had a reflection with my sister-in-law and my brother. Because so many things has been said on the streets, social media, and good and bad.
Yes.
So I took time out and I said, guys, I'm missing something. How was my childhood? And from that conversation, now I'm blending it to what are we having now.
Yes.
I've always been a child who's, or a person when I was young,
Yes.
I've never been a child of Hlala still, and my sister even reminded me ukuthi there was a time where my sister was frustrated ukuthi ubaba wami babConco is actually questioning ubuya late kwasisami emdala nengane zothu esebenza, independent women.
So how many are you?
So father's side, I think Boma 21. Yes, yeah.
Big family.
Yeah, big family. So umama bahlukahlukene, of course, and then I'm the last born, kuyo yonke lo 21. And then on my mom's side, sasiba 4, and then my late brother Ngimela Maya Kaseko. So it's the 3 of us. So both sides, I'm actually both families. I'm the baby. So So apparently the story, and I do remember, I've always been, chasing. So she's reminding me, ukuthi, there was a time where my sister had come back late and whatever. I don't even remember why was she late. And then mom said to say, but when it comes to nuka, I cause stress, And I'm saying to my siblings, I think both my parents have built that trust bond. I made sure every month I made sure I make my school work. So I sort of like built that, and more than anything, like they're my friends. So most of my activities were basically that,
So do you think because you were the last born, you were basically raised as like, I find that last born ends up
softer.
being not really softer,
Yeah.
but becomes the other one in the couple. Like my son, my youngest, my husband and I almost take him everywhere with us. Like Uba, that child who goes everywhere with the parents.
Yeah.
As opposed to the older two. The older two, and they end up doing their own thing.
Yeah, and by mind.
Yeah, no, and they're not really.
Yeah.
But the last born is so clingy on Umama no Tata and ends up just part of us.
Yeah.
Squad.
With me, it's different again because mina ngikhuluma Otizo staying with my dad, and then my mom ehlala back home in Matatiela, and eventually found love naye, and unfortunately Tato, which was a daddy to me, is late. Last year, so I was more. And I am more closer to Tato and Mamo because they've given me that mommy daddy.
Yes.
Tato my sounding board, hype me up when I have something to shoot. He would want to check though very being Irish, very typical from the rules, So I don't think so because we live in separate homes.
Okay.
So I don't think I had that experience, but because of what I formed and what I had sort of built between them, I think it was more like chilled, and they trusted me that much. And my dad, Naman was like, hey, so bamba good. I think they've always seen, I've always been busy, but not busy with what people my age at that time they were busy with. So manje sengizoshayela ukuthi ngijombile ekhaya or ngenze ini or manje kuphinda no. But it has always been chasing. I just could not label what I was chasing for.
Okay.
It's different now, 10, 15 years after, or now I'm able to label what's okay, I'm chasing 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So it has been that. It has not been an easy childhood.
Yeah.
You can imagine uhlala noma ukhulisayo, and then owakho engekho. There's dynamics. Sometimes you feel okay, namhlanje ngiyafeel ukuthi this is not my mom, or namhlanje ngiyafeel ukuthi okay, ukube kusekhaya mhlawumbe ngabe ngitholile okuthile, but again, I'm really grateful for my mom to pushing ukuthi angathathi whatever that I came back with, because every holiday with no fail she would come and she would come pick me up, or I would go to her and visit her. So it was molding the character ukuthi umuntu akangakhulu ngaboma yabo soft nani. And angazi how my life would turn out. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that then contributed, and it ended up being an influence in the way that you were chasing? Because it was, like you're mentioning, there was that dynamic of being raised, in a separate household than umawako.
Yes.
But you still saw her, you still had the relationship.
Yeah.
Do you think it contributed to the dreaming?
Yeah.
The big dreaming,
ambitious.
to be ambitious, to be the mom that you are now.
Yeah.
You're a very hands-on mom.
Very hands-on.
You're so
Very
detailed
hands-on.
in the things that you describe about your son. I mean, you're very there.
It has Olwethu kakhulu, because one of the things that when we are having this conversation with my siblings is ukuthi you were not chasing only for what you cannot label, as in like career-wise or to be a better person, but you've always She even said, people are saying you're the best hugger today. It actually started there. You've always chased for love. You looked for love because environment was not actually giving you that love. And it's not romantic love because I was like, oh, what do you mean I was looking for love?
It's a warm, it's a comfort, and you create those spaces around you, right?
Like you've always wanted family, and it's giving me reflections back. There's actually other families that I'm thinking of, and one I'm not going to mention because they out there. But I remember how I got so excited to meet this warm family, and they didn't understand my background. And there was a time where they actually sort of pushed me away, and it hurt me so much. So I don't think they understood the family, you know, love. So I have been chasing for that. So I just wanted to be out of the situation. I wanted to, you know, create my own warm. I had this imagination of a beautiful family because, you know, a family can have all the building and all the structures and all zonke lezinto esihleli kuzona, but there's just that one element that is very important, is the warmth and the love. Yeah.
But let's talk about your son a little bit.
Yeah.
You tweeted the other day, and I remember you actually posted, I think you tweeted and then you posted on Insta stories, because I commented on Insta stories.
Yeah.
You're going through the 4s.
Yes, he just turned 4.
I call them, excuse my language, the effing 4s. Because they are hectic.
Well, mine is so cute.
Yeah, but cute. You're enjoying him right now.
Yeah, I'm enjoying him.
You're enjoying the stage.
Now. I'm a little bit nervous after 5. Yes. But I'm enjoying. Yeah. Tell me what was the tweet?
I think you had said something about, he had said something, and you're like, "Kanti kunje kwa 4 guys." At the age of 4 guys.
I said, so he just woke up and storming. So my voga, of course, routine he wakes up because he started crash now. And so he says, bese ngithi mina, how wesaka asamsokeza. Athi no mami. Kithi mina how kade usiyena nosaka. Athi no nqamalala mina.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, wakuphi unqamalala wakuphi enkandla. I'm like, where do you know this information from? Like we up, you know. But it's the age where they are taking from stomach, sponging, from stomach conversation. We are maskhuluma nogogo wakhe uyangizwa bangikhuluma nobaba wakhe, and you know. So I think it's like, oh my goodness, indaba ezingizela la. Lord, make me ready.
I love it. And you're enjoying him right now.
Oh, he's amazing. You know, I really do wish, look, I'm not married. You married. You have given birth to your husband 3 times. Every woman out there who's married, so that I witness from the beginning, because you have like a better understanding. Like, for an example, I've never shared this, but I didn't know until I was pregnant. All the traditional food I know he likes, especially put. But I kept on like,
you were craving.
And even oranges. I didn't know he liked oranges. So each time I craving, I keep on. You know, because when I was pregnant, it was 17. So I was like, good shots. You know. So little things like that, you understand. So can you now imagine, because you know him there. Imagine what you know there. I'm dealing with it from this age. Yeah, so it's quite cute. So I really do wish every woman who finds love, falls in love, get married, just for that sake, not le notion no, just for you to have that experience. Beautiful.
And what parts of you is raising Saka healing?
It's understanding. It's understanding ukuthi some things or some elements that I would see Kubaba can say, but and then this, like for an example, he's stubborn. And there are some things that I would address and like it then, and it just does not happen. So kune understanding now or healing is ukuthi okay, kusho the character is like this, but kune sato or but kune njani. So, and also more than anything, no matter what happened between me and Ubaba, I'll forever have him. Yeah, and love him for blessing me with Osaka. And born the same day, and he named him Sakumuzi. And the only hope or the only dream I have is that Umtanam Gembela Bo Sakumuzi. Yeah.
And I can see how much he's raised you in the past 4 years.
Sakumuzi. Yes, no, he's raised me because I don't think if I didn't have him, I would push this hard. I don't think I would understand working towards irresponsibility and the fulfilling moment of working the entire month. Then younger, you know, the school fees is sorted. If it's and out of all, understanding I'm raising him as a mother and not as the father, because what I've seen to either family and friends in surroundings, sometimes they want to raise umntwana and over love and over try and because ubaba mhlambe kunenkinga or akekho, you know. So mina I also want him to understand ukuthi uma ungikhulisa as uma and not as too, because I can't play the other role. No matter how much I have,
yourself.
No
you
matter
have nothing
yes.
left for yourself. You have absolutely nothing left for yourself now. How has, you know, having your own child and raising your son contributed also to the relationship that you have with your mother?
We've gone very closer with my mom when I was pregnant. So I did the first 3D scan. My mom was not there, and she had promised that she's going to be there, because I talked to her a lot. I've never imagined my doctors. I don't know what I was thinking. How can that person my doctor's room? You know, but so my mom understood, and my mom was really trying to be there for me as a mother, not trying to be some sort of partner or ganjan.
Yes.
So now we never spoke about it, and by the way, the daddy is so first what I'm expecting.
Oh wow!
I mean, I thought it was just some cancer. I was so shocked.
Yakula?
It's cancer.
Yakula?
No. So it was then. And then I told my mom, no mama sola, because I was home, and then kwakunomcimbi kamkhulu wami, ubaba kamawami. And so apparently mina nje I was cooking amabhoda amakhulu, ngiyathanda ukupheka ekhaya amabhoda amakhulu okhara nama-rice nini nisemqombothini yabo. So bathi hayi, this time lo mcimbi ugela akaliphaka iplate, but makuzizoso. So the entire weekend when I was dealing with Nezo, so my mom suspected, but she didn't want to say. So now she didn't say anything about this pregnancy until I came to visit her at home. I think I was about 4 months.
Yes.
And then I'm just looking at the 3D scanning, I'm sending a video, I'm sending a tombe nani, kanjalo na baba khona. So now when I get there, she's like, "Hi, asambe siyenzakala thiwa yini lezinto zo 3D banibani." Nami ngifuna ukubona because she saw on the laptop the video. And then I'm like, no, but I did it, you know, like you can just press play on my laptop. And she's like, no, I'll pay for it.
Live.
Yes, I want to go. I'm like, huh? So masifika ku doctor, ugela kangixoxela mina. Masifika ku doctor uthi, "Hey, lo mntana ufike kahle ngimlindile nganele ngononka, uziphathe kahle." Like, oh, so umkhalela. Hey, so mina ngibhizi, ngifrustrate umntombami nani wena.
You been red.
Like, oh my goodness. I'm like, okay, so this is great. So my mom from that pregnancy just took, and when I gave birth, she was there. Ama steps mangicasile into ethile kuma hormones pregnancy. Hayi phela sisinami nganginjalo, amiyeke nje. My figure, you know, my mom was the first person when I gave birth. So the relationship even came more stronger between my mom and I. Yeah. So siyambanga basically usaka. So it's a tough one.
Don't you ever have moments? I personally have moments where I look at the way my mother is with my children. Where was this person?
Yeah, like the mom. So she says,
why were you not as nice to me?
Yeah, so ngiyambuza ku mama.
I was spoiling this child like this.
But why? And then she's like, namangazi bazukulu nje. Professor ngithi, oh my God, akunawati yonke into nje.
Where was this person all throughout?
Yeah, so I do get, and then sometimes there was a time where I thought, I maybe where I was really like, so my mom doesn't hug me anymore, so she doesn't, like she will literally remember, oh, how sisi niphilile, usakhosela, hey, yes, oh, are you okay? And I would question, but I'm your child. This child is just 4 years.
So no more.
Understand?
No.
Like everything will be around Saka, literally everything will be around Saka. So yeah.
I'd even get jealous of the little things. Like I used to be the one that used to creep up and cuddle inside bed with my mom.
A circus car. But
now there's no space.
I fought, but it didn't work for me because Osaka now would just want to sleep with me. But as Osaka would force. But nje attention would be on Saka. Or amlalise ngapha amgone then anginikeze back. And then until baze bazumeke, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So there's so much bond between them, yeah.
And how did then the relationship with your mom and her mother, kind of give you a glimpse into what motherhood was about?
I said to my sister, my elder sister, Uthembi, the other day, we need to admit parenthood as African society is vitizele. I don't know what proper English term I can give without being disrespectful, no offense. But abokoko bethu, it's almost like in a generation it was relaxed. They knew that, whatever that they knew, and it was best. So my grandmother has 13 kids and 11 surviving. And out of the 11, there's no sort of like that, sibling bond. There's love, but there's no bond. You get what I'm saying? So how my grandmother dealt with abantwana bakhe, for an example, if there's like conflict, she wasn't able to sit them down and say, what's your problem? Like, kwenzakalani wena uthini, lalelani, ningane zami, whatever. You understand? So ube resolve yena ngokuthi atshele lo ukuthi hayi no ungakhali ini ubani usile or hayi ngizomshaya ubani. So then it plants a seed ukuthi vele wena usile, and then lo mayesebuye sezoreporta hayi enene awumyeke ubani vele kwasho kwacima kanjani, and then that didn't build or mold them to have a bond. And then when now abantwana baka mavundlo kokwami, may soul rest in peace, is that now they have this idea nabo bayihlanganisela ukuthi what is parenthood, and they only know what they know. And then manje ngiyabona kahle if ugogo mhlambe wathi or wenza kanje ngabe they have a good example. So I'm actually, to be quite honest, I'm learning a lot from people outside. I'm learning a lot from people like yourself, other public figures, or either friends or banban. I ask a lot. I ask a lot, especially on males. Kunubaba that I really respect, ngasekhaya baba speaker. He's got many sons and one daughter, and I would always ask Abu Mtasa, I call them Abu Mtasa, how did your father get and achieve lento ukuthi nibe bumbano kanje? Because I know from my own family, see, with my siblings there's love but there's no bond, because nabo they made their own choices that even made us to be apart, And so those type of conversations are equipping me, or I'm adapting then. They would say, okay, okay, so and so yeah.
That is so interesting, because we always overlook the generations and the patterns of conflict resolution, calling out things, saying things for what they are. And I think our parents, we overcompensate. City, they did the best that they could with what they had. But there's also, that was very harmful in that they did the best of what they could with what they had. It's also a very harmful blanket statement to make.
It is.
Because the generational traumas have been passed on. There's certain things that we've inherited, and now we're having to undo.
Yeah, and it's so difficult, because now you need to think about it. I'm the youngest, you understand, and then there's my siblings, and then there's this thing, Yoguti, iyazi ukuthini ngesizwe ngobani because mncane and then noma sengiyibona into kangakanani ukuthi maybe it might hurt or manjani but ngizosaba ngizothula because now khona lela gama uthi ngatshela ukuthi I'm young but when it comes to other responsibilities especially finances or especially on creative things and then I must play my part then it's like okay so siyachoose like hayi ukuthi ubani oyang uyangunderstand so I think it is basically that and it has damaged ama imizi eminingi so I think if we can just because I always say even with young people or young moms you need to surround yourself with labo bantu yabo but as families I'm sure you've seen how difficult it is if there's only one educated child mhlambe out of 9 because manje kuba khona a sense of entitlement just because when ayavela ku TV nani so angazi ukuthi futhi awuse yena umuntu uyang understand so it's yeah no it becomes a lot and do wish ukuthi if usu nabantwana and njengoba abantwana bakho about 3 you can only pray for strength to fight with those kids babe educated and babe independent
absolutely
so that ikusasa masebe badala ngasho ukuthi hayi phela wena mama uthanda usibani you understand kanti it's not that ingane isuke izamelile nayo yayikhethela nangani it's not because omunye ngoba nakhe educated or and then also to avoid to all moms out there because kuba khona this thing yokuthi omunye mangabe zamile kangcono sekuzolethwa ayi phela thina ngoba nakho singena yabo ama family gatherings uso embarrassed or sometimes you want to try too hard because of your choices life is beautiful because of choices so I think as moms I think that's the best you can do ingane iphumeleke nje kanjani but wena ubuzamile ukuthi at least esikoleni khona ingeke ukwazi ukulala engadlile yabo
absolutely
Tired of counting sheep? Try an overnight. Sleep tight.
What's the proudest characteristic or trait that you inherited from your mom?
Love this one. Different or many sources of income. My mom is not a speaker. She's not the type of mom who'll sit you down agiyale acting ugiyala kwakhe it's very casual when ungayithi uyadlala yabona ke moko akhulela ini usedlulile ngoba mina ngizokushaya ini like usedlulile you know she's not this mom uhlala usaphansi yabona ukuthi lalela ke mntana no she's not but she's a doer you understand I remember when I was in primary school my mom so ever since my mom has started ukuzama impilo she has been a person othungayo till date. Thungishweshwe uthunga ina marketing nana and that has generated her a lot of money. Hence today I'm a graduate because of that. Wow. Hence today I'm where I am, especially with education because of bezama. Yeah. So athunge maybe Monday to Friday ezo ukuthi kunesonto elikhulu egabe lasePhakabene egabe likamasango egabe labani uma uzobe lapho seqasha ithende usiyahloma sekuyi-braai stand lehasi usiyosa lapha chicken dusty and I'm taking care of ama scones namatiye lo mali leyo yena she's taking care of ama plate amabhodo amakhulu yabona uthini i-weekend mhlawumbe iphele isonto lidlulile e-stadium dlala ibhola my mom is there ubonda amapapa you know I will never forget what she used to keep the pap warm they still have it now but in smaller versions it's those big babeyibizani yafika no Raja those angazi what but it's a warmer.
Oh, those warmers ngathi plate.
Not even. That's covering the stretch. That's covering ngendango. But zazikubamba ukushisa. So abonda ibhodela lakhe elikhulu lepapa alifake lapha phakathi kulayisha sekuqasha ivan sekuya lapha eOrlando Stadium kuphi kudlala ibhola uyathosa ngithi yabo so kade kunesonto yenzile imali weekend maybe kudlala ibhola you understand uyathunga in so before I was born she used to do pemming abantu braiding amakhanda uyacrochet asebenze emakitchen nana so it has been a generation
resourceful
thing. Yes so that's what I've learned and now when I'm reflecting back how my entrepreneurial started it's eskoleni it's so funny I started selling chips like snacks ngabanja because of course in the tuck shop eskoleni and then give up ngazama futhi stock and there's a sacrifice because now angina profit and then anginayo I revenue so okay so ngcono ngiwalk for this entire week to a rank bambi pass to catch up for my stock you know And I didn't even tell my mom. It was never a thing. Hey, yabo nje ma. No. I just thought, let me sacrifice for isikhathi esingaka, and so that ngizoba nemali ngithenga stock sami, and then sathathu okwesithathu ngathi let me sell sweets because it's in a bigger packets and 100 ngabanjwa. Ngaphinde futhi stock okwesibili, and then ngabanjwa okwesithathu ekseni asimenulayo nofuna usweet ngidayisa in 5. Ofuna usweet shasha quick spread. Oh Miss Wade. Wow. Shasha quick in the hurry so bafake emapaketheni. And then by the time we start class angisana stock. Mina ngebreaking ya collector. Akuthubani yabo thatha imali yami. Yabo ama-sweet ngibhadala. And then from there, bayithola leyo technique ukuthi eclassini kuhlezi kunamaphepha.
Yes.
So our days
somebody's selling up.
Shown, and then the class had to say, that's okay, it's a should be. Then after that, then I sold airtime. Ama airtime esafika u-MTN udayisa ufanele ukhathe ngesizwa uyiscrap. Yeah, ngadayisa ama airtime because now akekho uzongibamba ngiwafakela and umuntu uyifake efonini yakhe. So uzobona ukuthi uyilahla phi airtime, you understand? So that taught me today, when you start a business, it's not easy not to give up. So that's what I took from that.
Okay, we are both raising boys.
Yeah, sure.
And it's a tough time to be raising boy children.
Yeah.
Because of the level of consciousness that we need to have in how we raise them, the kind of values that we instill in them, and the generational patterns that we are trying to break. In the country that we live in, we are dealing with a rife level of physical violence against women and children.
Sure.
We're also dealing with, I think, a pandemic of its own of over-egoed men that were raised very entitled. How are you changing the narrative and also instilling certain values and principles in Osaka for the type of boy that is needed and the type of man that is needed in this country in the future?
Yeah. I love it. I love the question that you're asking, Nge, because I started when I was pregnant. I had deep thoughts. I had questions that I asked Baba Kona, and my questions were answered. They were not answered till date. So it was a prayer and things that I prophesied over his life as a swing. You are not going to take this. I'm hurting because of this. Please don't do it. So I spoke to him, and when he arrived and met him for the first time, there was so many prayers. I pray over the life of that boy. Mega was zumega, even in tongues. Rabo hashariande. You know what happened? Oh, okay.
Ring. It's flying. We are praying in tongues and rings are flying.
So makashariande. I would pray. There's no one I pray for, my mom and Osaka, because I see. Thanks, Mge. I see what's happening. And I get worried of which generation is I. Oh my goodness, in our generation, men are like this. How much? We need to admit that men of our times are broken. And men of our times are hurting because they are hurting. I've learned to logic, and when you look deeper into it, a man that is at peace, that is, dealt with my childhood traumas doesn't hurt. Low hit heights because it's hurting. So it's a matter of instilling values in him to love and to respect. And nami as a woman, I can try as much as I can, organically, naturally, without forcing things. Because umuntu wesifazane ubuhle bomuntu wesifazane isizotha somuntu wesifazane konke uzokubona qala kumina. That's why it's okay when people judge me ukuthi you you're secretive, or you're doing this. I'm okay with that, rather than compromising because in the understanding ukuthi he's gonna come of age one day. I don't want him to see umama ubekade philela abantu. I don't want him to see umama one day he will cringe ukuthi mawasekwenze njani. As much as I'm not forcing anything of the character I am, but I'm bearing in mind that I'm representing someone that one day I will have questions to answer and a role model. So I think it's instilling and ukufundisa, and as I said earlier, he needs to understand that I'm raising him. and then as a mom and not as a father. And I need to instill in him to understand how he was brought up, understand each parent. You know, your dad was ubabu wakhe ngokwakhe, and then uma wakho naye uyena ngokwakhe. And so also working hard namhlanje mke. You know, there are so many compromising namhlanje, so that when it comes of age, akwazi ukuthi aqhathanise, akwazi ukuthi okay, ithi ngithi kanje. So what I'm trying to say, I'm working as hard as possible to invest so that yena azoba it's okay. I think nami, as much as it's difficult, I need to work hard, I need to live, I need to this, I need to also be a mom this side. So it's instilling good values, okuhlonipha, okuthanda, and ukuthi anga repeat. You know, you do hear stories like, for an example, is Tim. Ukuthi I mean ubaba moyinaso in but it's your dad. He had impilo yakhe, and maybe for and it's not for you. So that's just an example of one of the things that I sort of worry about. Nkosi yamaka sharian.
We will keep praying over these boys. We will keep praying over these children. And I want to come back to the privacy conversation.
Yeah.
I have a philosophy of there's a level of vulnerability that's only for certain people.
Yeah. Certain people and certain times and spaces.
There's a level of sharing that is only for sacred and special places. And there's openness in how I choose and what I choose to share with people. There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And I can put my life in the public eye but be a very private person. I can choose what I share and how I share it. And to you, you might think, oh, Olwethu, I know everything about them. So there's also this conversation that came up on the show of your level of privacy. And I always say, when you also have this thing where when you speak for those that have discerning ear to hear. How intentional are you in the way you speak that you are very intentional about? There's a discerning ear that needs to hear what I have to say. If you don't hear it, and there's also a level of what I'm willing to share. You already know half of it. You will make your own conclusions anyway.
Yes, Olwethu, first and foremost, when I was invited on the show, they knew what they wanted in men, and it had nothing to do with what this world or this country is questioning. It's so surprising. Hence, they keep inviting me, and hence these conversations as it behind the scenes, as Pelelema office and my decision makers and myself. So you are right. There's a team. It's 5 adults. Ngikhule mina ngesinto, ngiphila isinto, ngikhule ngihamba umhlanga and njalo njalo. So imfundiso zasemhlangeni ngisayiphethe namanje. You know, for an example, uma ngabe kunesimo ake ngikhulume nje lezi zomathandana. Uma ngabe kunesimo esithize mhlambe muveze umuntu umiswe iduko or kanjani kanjani. Ngale kwalokho into enikhuluma nodadweni nanana into lethe amaqhekizeni sekuyiyona uyabo bese yaziwe ke kwashawa kanjani. Also considering ama situations about the partners ngiyafuna ukuthi nimise iduko noma kwashawa kanjani noma nje ngifuna abantu bezokuthiwa seziyakhala. I've always been going back to the reflections I had with my siblings. Apparently I've always been a secretive, a very lady or yabona very cautious, I would say, not secretive, cautious. So the character of Nonkanyiso, Nonkanyiso has always been the person who's often kusondela kuduze kwakho mayekuthandile. There's also this thing of people, I don't know, khona nje lento ngathi bantu bangaba vulnerable with me. I seem like I'm a person ongakhuluma, you know, I carry that energy and I'm grateful for and lock your information. So but it takes time ukuthi ngivuleleke. Ask my siblings, they'll tell you I grew up kanjalo, never knew izinto ezithize. Khona manje kuhlalela endlini, khona manje silala embhedeni owodwa. So the previous, or rather the son or the father of my son relationship and I edile on the character ukuthi I've always been lo muntu kanjalo. And people are questioning, so why are you on reality ma ukuthi uzofuna ubanjani? No. If ungibuka ngehlo vele lokufuna ukuthola whatever, you will feel ukuthi I'm secretive nanani. And I don't think it's being secretive, it's just being cautious. And if ngempela behind the scenes noma ama decision makers, they're okay with whatever that I'm willing to show, because bona bayazi why they have me there, then I think that's it. And when I speak, you are right. Ngisuke ngikuzwa wena, but angikwazi noma uthunyiwe noma vele unezimpi zakho sekuyihawu lokucasha noma yini. So I quickly have to think ukuthi all right, kunalendlebe le ngiyazi ukuthi izongizwa, and that's it. And I'm not even living for that, because there's a room that I entered, and then we listened actually with a friend uMabosi, and they were talking ukuthi no, uLasiku season 1, she has been this person, or yabo mysterious nanani, now she has that pressure ukuthi ka season 2 lalela noma ngawu 10 ama season. Noma ngawu 10 the personality will just be consistent.
Same consistency.
Same consistency. It's just
throw the curveballs. Let them have curveballs if you think that they're curveballs. I mean,
we understand that. So it's just to be cautious, and goodness cat. I'm fully aware ukuthi I've given the piece of me to abantu, and I've gained omge, not fan, but omge. So ngelinye ilanga omge bayong understand. I'm just thinking, those who have pushed and those who have judged and criticized, how would they feel, or bayozizwa kanjani uma sebelithola iqiniso? Woman to woman.
Yes.
And also, are you not concerned about karma, maybe? Because isidala saNkulunkulu awusenzi nje.
But I also think, I'm sorry to cut you, but I also think that, the same way that we pry into other people's space, it really holds us back from understanding the very essence of what it means to hold space for each other, which is what we should be trying to do, right?
We should.
If I'm not creating a space from now, we come together and we hold space for each other and have fruitful conversations, I don't need to pry. I don't need to get into uncomfortable.
I understand that. You are right, Olwethu, because I don't have any issues with opinions, especially on social media, because that's how you feel. But 99 Rand or wherever platform where you see me, to see me and follow my life or my craft. But I've got a problem when you judge. Don't be deputy God. Then that's a problem. We all, we have our opinions. So, no. But it's a problem to judge. So they shouldn't judge, because the truth is what I mean.
And I think that the unintended consequence of what this does, right, in the way that we don't hold space and we don't respect the difference between vulnerability, openness, and willingness to share, and also the boundaries that I have, is that what are we teaching abantwana bethu of boundaries?
Exactly. Boundaries. How much should you push? Where should you stop?
Especially as mothers. That's one thing that we should be enforcing and teaching children is boundaries. Where does my place in somebody's life start and end? Simple principles.
Level of entitlement.
Simple principles.
Yeah, you're right.
Of engagement with other people. Now, as a working mom, what challenges have you faced in navigating, in moving around in the world? You are trying to raise a boy. But now we deal with a lot of challenges, a lot of barriers to entry within the workspaces. To try put food on the table, to try and keep ourselves afloat, to try and keep our children happy. We try and build a legacy for our children.
Legacy. How do I do it? It's grace. First and foremost, it's grace. Because I speak to God about anything and everything. Actually, this morning, the prayer that I had with uNkulunkulu. And it's because I've reached that level of being close to my Creator that and because our Creator knows everything, it's just a matter of communicating. And I'm laughing at him, and I so wish that you are not this far. I know you are close, but you are far, because I can't touch you, I can't see you. I just sometimes wish to say, "Hey, wangthwala." Yet again, wangthwala. So it's grace, it's resting in Christ, and it's just allowing God to channel me. Like there's no magic. Like shocking. Like this last month, 4 international countries in 1 month, and coming back with that, with the milestones and what I've achieved, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So the dream that I have, because it's 4, is to run as fast as I can, invest as much as I can, save as much as I can, so that when he's 7, I'm going to spend so much time abe like Dozawam. So it's okay because of young. And funny enough, when I was making my way,
it's insane that you say that, because you're though you say that, you say it from somebody who is a very hands-on present mother.
Yeah.
So what makes you feel like Agakolana and his, you know, you're gonna use the next few years just to quickly amass so that you can bring him in closer?
It is physic not being here, because when I'm in Joburg, like Njobangila, definitely left back at Tegwini with family, with the Ope. We talk on FaceTime. He knows now how to dial because of the iPad yake and call and na. It's just a couple of days then back. So yileo province engishaya ukuthi it's when he's 7 at least every day and also nami have time at development stage yakhe. The sports that you'll be choosing, be there, attending school lokhuzana meetings, blah blah blah. So it's a matter of ukuthi uNkulunkulu wami, I don't know umbekeleni, but this is the dream. He knows, because we plan always our lives. So I really do not feel, even if noma two vakashela ugogo emakhaya mhlambe like for weeks, I just make sure ukuthi if he's gone for 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks angimbone kayi-2. And that's a lot, because traveling uthoti, I'm shooting this here or I'm having this, thotse fani ngihambe khona manje, I'm going to Nigeria and I'm going to be there like for 2 weeks. So at least angimbone when I'm going to Nigeria, and then at least showcase angimbone masengibuyile and just spend time, because I believe ukuthi the key to any relationship is bond. The bond must be there, so that when noma kungificane noma kungenzakalani when he's 8 or 9 or 10, when the running is still there, whatever, but the bond must be there.
And you know, you're a very busy woman. You're a present mom. You're a working woman. Your life is hectic right now. And it's only just you know, you've
it's just nje isadumi plain.
What words of encouragement do you have for women out there? There are women out there that are starting something new, stepping into territories they've always wanted to be in. There's the anxiety, there's the fear, there's the, you know, that I'm in a new space. I just need something of encouragement to keep going. I'm navigating parenting, career, and I feel like I'm slacking. Or I'm losing my footing every now and again because I'm struggling with just the dynamics of it and what society has told me that a mother must be.
First and foremost, woman, you are enough. And you are the best in whatever. Re-invite God each and every day, because there's grace for every day.
Amen.
Allow God each and every time, and no matter what, uNkulunkulu unesikhwele ngathi Olwethu. The minute ukhohlwa nje, the minute uthi unesikhwele ngabantu bakhe, uyafuna simazise, uyafuna sihlale esifubeni sakhe. So I would say, parents don't neglect those kids. Because utshala imbewu ngakusasa ongeke ukwazi ukuyivuna, noma eyothi sibekiwe la ubese ungabusakwazi ukuyidla. So do not neglect lo mntwana, no matter what. Try and ucela uNkulunkulu ukuthi akakusize, because you know, when everything you report to God, yonke into uvela uyibone yenzeka. Hey my God,
listen,
I don't know how I can express this, because sometimes I feel like, and nami before I would hear people talking izinto ezinhle ngoNkulunkulu, ngimzwele kude umuntu, you know. So uNkulunkulu futhi khona into ayenzayo, khona isimo fanele udlule kuso, ube kwi-dust, ube out there, ube KO, ube out, bese uNkulunkulu eqalisa phansi ahlehlise konke, athina aphuce konke, so ukuze uzomazisa, ukuze uzosondela kuyena, because I don't think ukube kuthiwa sidlule kulezi zinto ngabe siyamazisa. I doubt, because fanele udlule kwentweni ethile ubusiseke, and then you say uNkulunkulu uyamazi. And to just make sure ukuthi in whatever that you are doing, you don't lose yourself and you don't lose umntwana, and don't overlove. I don't have experience in this, nami ngiyasifikela ku-motherland, but what I've seen with my surroundings, this thing of overloving because awufuna ukuthini egcineni iba nama elements athiza compromise i-character noma uyabo ingane mase ingakanani. So it's just to do your level
and I
best,
think it's maybe not overlove, but it's also this the understanding that there is a wrong kind of way in which we can love umntana, where we as miyali, where we don't teach them also boundaries with the love, where we don't also teach them, like what we spoke about earlier, disciplining, teaching ukuthi there will be conflict, and conflict resolution needs to happen. You know, choosing that I will only use love in this situation. You know, if a friend of mine and I were also talking just the other day, Yoguti, Jesus loved us and loves us. But did he not go into a church and flip over a table?
The Bible says
did he not
so.
tell them off?
Because
love involves that too, that level of discipline. Yoguti, there needs to be a way in which we also establish boundaries and get disciplined at that place of love too.
Because there's no manual in
There's no manual.
Nathi kuba isibusiso esitshelwe sona for a certain time or a certain period and for a certain reason. So it's just to say, when I be consistent and just stick to your truth, and there's nothing as beautiful as living a life that is just simple and just authentic and just like doing you. It's more cheap. It's more out there, put effort. You don't need to protect it. You don't need to do this and that. So I think it's just to and sit down and you know, speak to yourself and have a sounding board.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that is important, whether you are raising umntwana, whether it's a business, whether you're a public figure or nan. Like, just have that sounding board. Have that person also phone in and then akubuyise ngandawonye. You know, you don't need magic, you don't need umuthi. You don't need izinto efana nalezo to ukulungisa ama situations. But you just need that. So you just tap into that and you can be great, you know, at whatever you do while ukhulisa umntwana, while you're doing business. And it's difficult. So uNkulunkulu masuke kupha umntwana kusuke kuyisibusiso esikhulu for isizathu, and no matter what ubunzima ubhekene nabo, but akuve kubalekile ukuthi usithathe lesibusiso usimukele and ucela amandla nje uNkulunkulu ukuthi akakusize usikhulise, because I've seen abazali abaningi babe nama issues noma babe ingane noma emshadweni kunenkinga nani uthothi manje, I mean, there's just a story usisi usanda kuvela enkantolo wathi 4-year-old ubekade ediniwe ingane beganga.
What drowning ingane?
You understand? So you can see ukuthi that person, the time a means ingane vele emqondweni nas emotion, like she was gone. You understand? And no one can do that umzali ephila, because nami nginjena I really want to protect usakha ngakho konke ngakho ngifuna nix nje, you know. So it's basically that. I think iqala lapho ukumukela ukuthi lesi sibusiso noma besifele kangakanani. Khona abantwana abavele ngo rape, khona abantwana abavele bekade kudlalwa, khona abantwana abavele indoda eshadile, khona, you know, all these sort of things they baziyangena emqondweni as a mother. But nje mawusomukelile and mawusomukela everything ibalula, because now you look forward to ukuthi uzomkhulisa kanjani, ufuna uhlanganise, ufuna uthini, and umntana mayesevelileke, whether you are married or not, whether ubaba unemali or not, because there's this trend ukuthi uzozala umntwana just because you are securing the bag, which is utter nonsense. Because now when as a mother you need to be responsible and be hands-on kulo mntwana and be a provider. We understand umntwana mayiphelelwa amanapukeni as a mother, because kubo wakho. Kuba mnandi makusakhulunywa ngaye ngabe bikhona izinto maseyishintsha. You need to have a mindset yokumukela and move forward.
Amen. Asivale nje lapho. Let's just close it off there. Let's enjoy ukudla kwethu. Kube mnandi sisiphuzela ama orange juice, because LaConco doesn't even drink champagne. Sizomzama nge 0.0. Sizomzama nge 0.0.
You can toast him, yeah?
Cheers mge.
Thank you.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
I'm so happy to be spending time with you, to get to know you. And I really hope success, all the best, all amazing things over you and over your life.
Thank you, dear.
You're going far.
Thank you.
You are healing so many of us through
I've heard
how...
that. Lalelo, you're going far. I've heard that since I was so young. Yeah.
And you're healing so many of us because you are teaching us so much about setting our own boundaries.
Yeah.
And not being unapologetic about our unique journeys.
Yes, our unique
as
journeys.
Fun.
As fun. Oh. As fun and
As
special,
fun.
babes. Yeah.
As fun.
As fun and
Ngashada ngabe nengane.
Yeah. Manje.
From us at Art of Superwoman, we'd like to wish all our AoS moms an amazing and beautiful Mother's Day.